I made cat food. This is officially month 4 of me trying to find the perfect diet for my cats so that I feel like I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that they live to at least 100 in cat years or human years. And I think I finally found it. My journey is officially over. It really technically started almost 5 years ago because I was feeding Mochi Fancy Feast. Then when Rico came around, I got him on the Fancy Feast as well. After realizing that Fancy Feast was considered McDonald's for cats, I decided it doesn't hurt for me to start looking at all the options out there. I started with raw, learned that it didn't really work for them. Then I moved on to a wet food that I thought was a little bit more higher value. And then also I mixed in a little bit of dry food. That helped a little bit with Rico's skin issues and with Mochi's food sensitivity as well. Stopped the kibble because I just knew it wasn't good for their teeth long term. And then I just felt like I got a little bit complacent with the barely higher value food I was choosing and realized although it was an improvement, it wasn't as far as I wanted to go. And I kept realizing the struggle of purchasing a canned food and finding a caveat to it. And honestly, going on this journey, I realized how similar it was to my personal food journey when I decided that I wanted to start eating things that were a lot less processed. And so I realized all of this reading that I did on these cans about what ingredients they include, I realized as long as they had the nutritional blend that they needed from the food, they mixed in a bunch of other things to just kind of keep the food preserved. And just like in my personal life, the approach that I took to lessen how much processed foods I was intaking daily was basically deducing everything to its most basic ingredients and trying to get them as organically or with the highest nutritional value as much as possible. Like for example, when I was in college, I took an environmental science class. My professor would take us on these different trips to see different areas to get more connected to the land that we were staying on. I'll never forget the time that we went to a farm and snapped some sweet peas off the vine. They were significantly sweeter than the sweet peas we might buy at the grocery store because they're coming directly off the vine. The vine is still up to the moment that we snap it off, pumping all of those sugars through it. And so, you get that fresh food. And I took that back home with me to the city and I got really into learning how to grow my own food. And actually, matter of fact, I'm growing sweet peas right now. I'll show you. I kid you not, that says sweet peas. Yeah. That being said, I do really see the benefits of that for me personally. So when I put it in the context of my cat, it's kind of a no-brainer. So when I looked at my cat's food and took away all the preservatives, I realized that it is actually very possible for me to make homemade cat food. So I took that a step further and started looking for veterinarians who thought the same thing that I was thinking, but had the knowledge to be able to back the recipes that they were creating. I thought I might give that a try. And I originally didn't consider this on my food journey because I was very scared at the thought of being in control of like their nutritional intake. I didn't really consider that there might be vets out there that make a blend for you so that you can just get all the basic ingredients. They worry about the nutrient portion, and as long as you're doing the recommended serving sizes that they require, then your animal's getting the nutrition that they need on a daily. I honestly thought it might be more inconvenient and expensive too. Like I thought that I would have to buy a million different ingredients, but when I saw most of the recipes that they were recommending were like less than 10 ingredients, less than 8 ingredients, and half of them I had in my house already, I got really excited about this journey. And I took it seriously. I did research for about a month. I made sure that I had a good weaning plan for my cats off of their food. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't moving forward with anybody that was pretending to be a veterinarian. But after a month, I finally gave it a go, and I'm so happy that I did because I'm pretty sure that from now on, I'm only gonna make homemade cat food. I mean, look at this. I literally made it. Like, I can't believe I made cat food. I literally made homemade cat food. I never thought that this was possible. And it looks like, for a cat, good. You know, like not bad. I felt like the Holistic Vet Blend and these other two doctors, I'm sure editing me will show them up here, helped me visualize what I was reading the most and actually like put it in application. So I actually ended up going with the Holistic Vet Blend's nutritional mix. And this was actually day 3 of feeding my cats, and they treat it no different than they did their canned food. In fact, the nutritional mix that she has comes with the recipe, and I honestly followed through with that recipe, but then added a few extra things that I thought my cats would like myself. The recipe that I went forward with is a turkey and tuna recipe. It's actually so much easier to make homemade cat food than you think. My biggest fear was that I would go on this journey, make all this food, buy all these things, and then my cats wouldn't even eat the food at all. But luckily the recipe that you provided was good enough for my cats to eat. However, I did tweak it in a few ways. So if you want to see the more detailed instruction of how I did that, continue watching the video. All we need is both of their bowls to be empty. If both of their bowls are empty, we succeeded at making homemade cat food. My cats literally loved it. Mochi was a little bit slow to eating it, and I can tell the difference between when she eats food really, really fast and when she eats food kind of just at a slow pace. So I may try making a chicken recipe because she is 100% a chicken girl. I am actually also so excited that this turned out so well that I'm gonna go to my favorite pet bakery and buy a bunch of freeze-dried toppings so that I can like really zhuzh up their foods. But I also started watching the show The Bear, and my boyfriend and I, we realized that we really like the idea of making our food presentable and making a whole spectacle moment out of it. And so I realized that this was a moment that we could do the same with our cats too, and all of us could eat our fancy looking dinners together. And if there's one thing you need to know about me, is that I will make something out of nothing. If there's something I want to do, or if there's something I want to achieve, I will find a way to achieve it. Even if it's not the most perfect, pretty, expensive way, I can find a way to do it. And finding a homemade cat food recipe that hits all the points that I wanted to on my cat food journey really feels like an example of that. But I am so excited to continue making more cat food recipes. Learning that I can do this, I also realized that I could use some of my ice molds and make like little treats for them out of these purees that I'm making. I don't know, I have a lot of really cool ideas now that I have some vet-approved skills to make food at home for my cats. And I have plenty of leftovers. This is the leftover pumpkin. I just laid it flat and kind of sectioned it off so that I could use it for those future recipes. If you watched the first video of this journey, thank you so much for sticking it through. I'm pretty confident that my next updates will just be new recipes. So if you're interested, looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope to see you next time.